So how did you decide on triathlon and in particular Ironman? Did you know about this before, or?
No, I knew very little about triathlon, very little about Ironman. I just knew that an Ironman was big, something very difficult, grueling, and that's what I was looking for. I never did the endurance sports before, but it kind of felt like the right thing to do after an amputation. You had to get back and do something big, so that's why I chose Ironman.
And this process of becoming part of Become One. You hear about Hines Ward is doing the Ironman, and they're creating this Refuel Become One program. When did you hear about it, and what was it? You wanted to be an Ironman, so I assume that was the draw in terms of submitting some video.
Yeah, for me, I worked a lot with the Challenge Athletes Foundation.
Right.
And I've worked with the Challenge Athletes Foundation. Yeah. From the start.
Yeah.
They got me into triathlon and it helped me take those first initial steps.
Right.
And they knew my goal was an Ironman, so they helped me get through the process to get hooked up with Refuel, Got Chocolate Milk, and with the Become One. And it's been so cool to get this opportunity to check off this goal, this Ironman in Kona. And to do it with Hines Ward. I grew up in Pittsburgh, a big Steelers fan, so I've been a fan of him forever. And this opportunity is amazing.
Have you gotten the opportunity to? Obviously, you got the same coach in Paula, but Hines Ward is a superstar. He's a big-time celebrity, and obviously, you guys have gotten the chance to meet. Do you guys actually keep in touch, regularly via text or via other ways? You guys are all now sharing this experience of training for. You're all in the same boat. You've never done an Ironman, right? So here's this supposed NFL superstar, but you guys share the same thing in common. You're Ironman rookies. So have you guys gotten to share that experience, as you've gone through this year?
Yeah, that's a great question, and we have. It's been really neat. Our schedule is set up so we do some training together, and we hit some milestones together. So we did a sprint triathlon together. We did a 70.3 together, and we communicate regularly. Our whole team, Hines, Josh, Chrisanne, and myself, just through text message, through the phone, through social media. It's been helpful to be going through this with other Ironman rookies, because when I have a problem, I quickly shoot a text to them. I talk to Paul a lot too, but it's really cool to have this team, and we support each other.
A little trash talking, maybe a little competition on the side with your teammates?
Of course, and that only makes you better, right?
Yeah, exactly. So do we have a little wager of any sort with you and Hines, or on who's going to beat who on Saturday?
We haven't talked about that yet. No, honestly, it's I think we're each other's biggest fans. It's I can't wait to see him finish. Seeing him when he started, and running a few miles at a time was tough, and to see him get to the point where he's going to finish his Ironman, man, I can't wait to see him do it, and I can't wait to brag about him to all my friends and family.
One of the things that I think has been an eye-opener for me in getting to watch a little bit of you go through this process is the difficulty in getting a prosthetic to fit. And I don't think anybody who is not familiar with Challenge Athletes or is not really familiar with that world understands how difficult that process is, especially for an athlete who needs this prosthetic to fit perfectly in order to not have issues with running. I mean, the pounding that running takes, or riding a bike for a long period of time, it has to fit well. And watching you go through this and struggle through this, and the issues you can have with the stump and infections and sores that develop, I mean, it's something I never thought, it's an obstacle, obviously. I mean, that's duh. But the other little detailed obstacles and issues that come along with it, how hard has that been? What have you gone through? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's been harder than I initially thought it was going to be. I was up, I was walking, I was running. I felt comfortable. I even got to the 70.3 distance. But when I did start the training for an Ironman, my body did change. Every little change in my body, my stump changed. And I found myself in August in a bike leg and a run leg that wasn't perfectly fitting. And I still thought that I needed to get out there and put in the same amount of miles that was on my schedule, and I wanted to push. Middle of August, I had a big weekend, and I had a little bit of skin breakdown underneath my prosthetic on my limb. and it turned into a staph infection, which
God.
is like, oh no.
Oh my
All these,
God.
it felt like setback after
Yeah,
setback. But from there, this is where I really, really leaned on my coach, Paula. I couldn't have done it without her because I was frustrated. I was watching these workouts go by, and I thought that I needed to be out there doing them. But she had me swimming more to keep up the fitness, and I was doing that, and I had to get a few new legs made. My prosthetist is Peter Harsh, and I've been almost living at his place every day, going in for little adjustments, getting the perfect fitting bike leg, the perfect fitting run leg. So I was ready for this race. And after I was swimming for a while, I was able to get back on the bike and start putting some miles in, and slowly getting back into it to get back into training. And same thing with running. Running came last, and honestly, last Wednesday I finally got my final running leg, and I put some miles on it, and it feels pretty good. And there's going to be a lot of thought that goes into race day with what I carry with me, because as I run, as I take in water, as I become dehydrated, whatever happens, my leg's going to change shape. So I have to carry things with me. My special needs bag is going to have
pretty full.
it's going to have a lot of leg stuff in there. But I think I have a pretty strong grasp on it, and I've learned so much about my body and about what it takes to deal with the leg issues over the past few months. Like I didn't realize how much I didn't know, and it's amazing how much Paula was able to help me. Like, I mean, she has both legs, weird, but she was able to tell me, and it's simple things. It's like if your leg hurts,
Don't run.
It's simple.
That's not the Marine Corps way, though. If it hurts, throw some dirt on it and go train.
Yeah, I guess that's it. And so that was my biggest struggle, is not getting out there and causing more pain. But I'm able right now to say that I feel healthy, and I'm going to be starting Saturday feeling healthy, and that's way more important than having some of those long rides and some of those long runs, but going into the race feeling not healthy. Yeah. So I'm confident that and happy that she was able to kind of pull me back and let me know that I'm still fit, and like I'm going to do fine still.
One of the things that struck me, I got the opportunity to go and accompany you on a swim a couple weeks ago in Encinitas, and it was one of the worst days. It was probably 4 to 5 foot surf. It was 10 to 12 mile an hour wind chop. So it was not a great morning to swim, and it was gray, and it was a little scary. Cold. It was about 7 a.m. And one thing I really noticed was your demeanor. I mean, it was like absolutely nothing. Most athletes or first-time rookie sort of triathletes would not have gone out on that day. Paula even looked at it and said, "Are you sure?" I go, "I don't care. If he wants to go, we're going." And there was no question in this guy's mind. It was, and I watched your demeanor, and I think, as big as this event is for the athletes on this island, the athletes in this sport, and the world that is going to be watching this, when I look, I just feel this sense of calm from you. It's like, this is no big deal. What does it mean to you to do the Hawaii Ironman and represent the military and some of your brothers and sisters who are out there right now serving this country and having gone through what you have gone through?
It means a lot. It really does. And first, thanks for taking me out. It was a great time. And you're right. Like I didn't realize it was a big day. I didn't realize
it was victory at sea. Yeah.
It was just like, okay,
it's just
another day. But and I think as you say that, I didn't realize that it was a big day because myself, I've been through a lot. I've been shot at. I've been in some stressful situations. I've been blown up, and it's happening.
Big waves aren't a big deal.
Yeah. I saw it. I was like, oh man, we get to go on a swim. This is great. But
nobody's shooting at me.
I'm glad you bring that up because we still. I mean, every day right now, there's someone out on patrol. He's probably been out for 8 hours. It's hot. He's sweating, and he's probably not going to get to sleep very much tonight. And he's going to wake up tomorrow and he's going to go do the same thing. And every time he steps out, it's going to be you're stepping out into a dangerous situation.
Right.
And I thank God that we live in this country where there's always people out there doing that. And I'm glad that there's still guys out there doing that. And I think a lot of the guys out there, if they were in my situation, an Ironman would be a goal for them.
Sure.
So I feel like me getting out there and doing that, I think I'm representing the Marine Corps and just the military in general in a way that makes sense.
So 20 years ago, when we started Challenge Athletes Foundation, it was really for a lower leg amputee by the name of Jim McLaren. And one of the reasons that I felt it was appropriate for you to be the Refuel Got Chocolate Milk athlete was because, just like Jim, you're a below knee amputee. To keep that legacy going, keep his dream alive and his legacy alive. Mm-hmm. Do you know much about him? Is that just knowing that this guy was the reason we started the foundation? What does that type of stuff mean to you?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it's reading about him, watching his videos. He inspires me to a level like beyond inspiration.
Yeah.
And just the Challenge Athletes Foundation in general, I'm so proud to be able to represent the Challenge Athletes Foundation. And Jim, he's the type of person that him getting out here and racing, has inspired me. You know, and I know that he's looking down and he's proud of. He's proud of this, and he's proud that people are out there shooting for goals similar to his, and that helps keep me going. Just thinking of what he's been through and what he's done.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Hey, Eric, thanks so much for being part of Refuel Got Chocolate Milk and the Become One team. I'm guessing you're a big-time chocolate milk guy now.
Oh, I love it. It's in my routine. Every workout, and the best thing is my 7-year-old daughter who didn't really love milk. Now every time we sit down for dinner, we both share a chocolate milk. So I'm kind of glad that it's back in our family.
All right, Eric McElvenny has been our guest. On Saturday, he will become an Ironman. So what's that going to mean coming across that line?
It's going to be emotional, and I don't know how emotional, but I can't wait for it.
I love it. Eric McElvenny again has been our guest. We are brought to you by Monster Ice Sport, the Athlete's Headphone. We are at beautiful Huggos live on triathlete.com. And the amazing Poncho Man will take us out.
P-Man in the sun. P-Man, grab your bags and run. P-Man, another swell is coming your way. P-Man, another swell is coming your way. Breakfast with Bob and Brother Paul.
Thank you, Poncho Man.
All right, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.